What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is officially halfway through the year, so you know what that means. We get to talk about the absolute best cinema that 2026 has given us so far. This year, I have watched 40 movies so far in theaters, and I am ranking my top 10 of the year so far. From the massive blockbuster hits to those indie gems that really caught me off guard. But before I start, make sure to drop your top 10 list in the comments below. Let's share that list and compare so we can discuss. So, without no more waiting, here's my top 10 list of 2026. Number 10 on my list, and I know all of you are going to come at me in the comments when I tell you what my number 10 is, but I had to put it on the list. So let me first explain why, and then you can tell me your thoughts. My number 10 is Stranger Things, the finale. Yes, I know. Let me explain, okay? I have it on my list because it did come out on December 31st, going into January 1st. So technically, in my mind, it's a 2026 release, okay? So that's all I'm going to say. Also, I'm a huge fan. I'm a die-hard fan. I cherish and adore the show. And that finale, thank you, Netflix, for putting it in theaters, because that was a gift to all of us fans. And the experience that I had watching that final episode in a room full of fans, just like myself, we were all laughing, screaming, crying. I mean, it was one of those greatest communal experience. So I was so happy, and I will never forget it. I do agree, and I will admit that a lot of the criticism of that final episode is valid. However, I have watched that final episode a million times by now, and I still cry my eyes out like a baby. And all I have to say is, I believe. I will always believe. Number 9 is a movie that for about 2 months, it had a profound impact on me. It left me in a state of longing and reflection and almost sadness, but happy at the same time, because I found it to be such a beautiful movie despite being so dark. And that is All Is Fine in '89, which is directed by Matthew Lupus and starring his own brother, Adam Lupus. This is a duo that I really cannot wait to see what they do next, because this movie, again, it really impressed me. And it almost feels like it's a blend of Gus Van Sant's Elephant and Dazed and Confused. And you follow a group of kids on their last day of high school in 1989 and the horrible things that they're going through. And it really makes you reflect, and it takes you back to your own high school experience. And for myself, as a gay kid in an all-boys school, in a Catholic school, you know, my time in high school was a little bit tough. But a movie like this really makes you realize that you should let go of that pain, because so many other people have it way worse than you did. And this movie, I thought, was brilliant in how real and raw it showed the stories of all of these kids that you're rooting for. And some of them don't have a happy ending. So it can be a little bit sad and dark at the end. And that's why it leaves you with that feeling of like longing and trying to understand why. But at the end of the day, that's life. So what I took away from a movie like this is that I have to have empathy with other people because they're having a worse time in life than maybe I am. But I also have to give myself some grace and maybe forgive and let go of the pain that I have and I'm holding on from the past. And the kids in this movie, unfortunately, they are not going to have maybe a great time in life after what they went through on that one day. Please watch this movie. It's playing right now on Prime Video. Moving on to number 8 on the list. And this one, I feel like it's another controversial pick, but I have to go with it. Wuthering Heights. Hear me out, okay? If you are someone who enjoys a visual medium like movies, how can you not like Wuthering Heights? It is a visual spectacle. The creative vision that Emerald Fennell had within this story, it to me is one of the most innovative films of the year. The big swing that she took, I have to admire it because she went for it. And we live in an age where people are constantly saying, please give us something different. Well, here it is. You got it. She gave you a love story for the ages in a different way. It's dark, it's beautiful, it's romantic, it's gothic, but it's a huge love story. How can you not love this? I know that there are elements about the film that don't work. I absolutely understand the criticism. However, you have to admire the huge risk and big swing that Emerald Fennell and Margot Robbie took by making this film. And in my opinion, it works. I absolutely loved it from the moment it started to the moment it ended. I was crying my eyes out, but I was also enjoying the beauty of what I was watching on that film. Please make sure that you have this movie on your top 10 list because it deserves it. Number 7 on the list. This is a movie that took me 2 times to go to watch it in theaters in order to finally really understand it and really fall in love with it for the message that it's trying to say. And that movie is Disclosure Day. It's Steven Spielberg, baby. You know he is the best. That's the guy that I grew up with. He is the guy that got me into movies. Jurassic Park, to me, is the masterpiece of a lifetime. So I have to go watch this film when it comes out, right? We all do. The first night that I watched the film, I fell asleep. I kind of hated it when I left the theater. And I felt so bad the next day. And I saw the reviews coming in and people were also hating it. And I kind of felt validated by that. But then I decided, no, let's go watch it again. Maybe I'm missing something. So I went for a second time. And let me tell you, that second watch made all the difference because I got to finally put all the pieces together of what the story and the message is in the film and how beautiful is a message about empathy. You have to fall in love with it when you have someone as big as Spielberg and he delivers an action-packed film about aliens, but deep down it's about having empathy for other people that are different than you. You have to just cherish something like that. So I did fall in love with this film and I put it on my number 7 because it does have some flaws. I do think that there are moments in the film that are confusing. And again, it took me 2 times to really kind of get in the groove of what the film is trying to do. But it's still a really good film. And if you did not like it, I really want to beg you to go watch this film for a second time because I guarantee you, I think you will like it a whole lot better on a second time if you go in with an open heart. Number 6, Send Help from Sam Raimi with an incredible cast. Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams, the talented and incredible Rachel McAdams, because that's what she is in this movie. She is a force to be reckoned with in this film. She does the comedy and the horror and the drama so very well. I really hope that by the end of the year, when award season starts, they remember her because I truly believe she at least deserves a nomination for a Golden Globe in the comedy category. I doubt she's going to get it because this movie came out in January and nobody remembers a movie that comes out in January during award season. But I hope they do. I also think that if anybody in the horror genre this year will get a nomination, it'll probably be Indy Navarrete from Obsession. So there's a lot of competition for Rachel McAdams. But wouldn't it be amazing if both Rachel McAdams and Indy Navarrete got a nomination? But anyways, Send Help is a brilliant film. Sam Raimi is at the top of his game in horror comedy. There's one scene in this film, and that's the plane crash. The way he directed that, wow, action-packed on the edge of your seat. And then you have a great cast with Dylan and Rachel. There's nothing else that you can ask. Great film. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? Go right now. Oof, we're getting into that top 5, which are the movies to make it into my top 5 list. All right, next up on the list, number 5 is Crime 101, starring Chris Hemsworth, I can never say his name, and an incredible cast that I have to read in order to tell you who is in this film. Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, and Nick Nolte, and many more. I mean, this is a to die for cast for a director that is completely unknown. His name is Bart Layton. And what I loved about this film, honestly, is that it is a perfect film. From start to finish, great story, really well directed, really well acted, great action sequences, really amazing characters. I mean, there's nothing that this movie got wrong. The only thing that it got wrong, honestly, is that it is an old school Hollywood movie that nobody, unfortunately, nowadays cares to go watch in theaters. This is the kind of movie that people want to watch at home on streaming. And that makes me really sad because this movie, it is one of those neo-noirs, like the old days of Hollywood, but in a modern version. If you haven't seen this, please go watch it. It is Chris Hemsworth, I got it, at his best, and the entire cast, including Halle Berry, maybe one of her best performances. And after this, I am really looking forward to see what the director Bart Layton will do because he showed so much promise. Clearly, he knows his craft. Really talented guy. Cannot wait to see what he does. I hope in his next movie, he goes bigger because this movie, even though it's great, it felt a little bit contained. I want to see him now let loose and go big. All right, we're down to the wire. By the way, have you shared your top 10 list in the comments below? Let me know what your favorite movies of the year are so far. But now, moving on to number 4, the movie is Backrooms. Now, this is where I geek out, because if you know me, you know that all that I love to watch is horror movies. And 2026 has been the renaissance of the horror genre. So many horror movies are coming out. So many of them are really good. So many of them are doing really well, and audiences are responding. And a lot of them, including Backrooms, they are changing the game and changing Hollywood. Kane Parsons directed Backrooms, and he is a YouTuber guy. This is a YouTuber dude that somehow got to break the boundaries and the rules set in Hollywood and got to make a big feature film and deliver the goods, and the movie is doing great. As of right now, it is number 9 as the movie that has made the most money at the box office. And that is an incredible feat by a director that is only 20 years old. And he is going to keep making more Backrooms because with a movie as big as this, of course, they are going to greenlight a sequel. And we are going to be watching a lot of Backrooms for years to come because as of right now, with this film, Backrooms has broken into the zeitgeist of our culture and is going to stick around, in my opinion, for about 30, 40 to 50 years with sequel after sequel. Hopefully, they'll deliver the goods. So again, it is beautiful to see a movie that is part of a movement that is changing Hollywood, but also that I got to witness the birth of a franchise that, in my opinion, is going to be around for a long time. So get used to Backrooms. Here we go, baby. Top 3. Number 3 on my list, it is Obsession. I know, I think most of you thought I was going to put it as my number 1 because I am a horror guy, but I have it at number 3. I absolutely love the story of Obsession way more than I love the movie. I have it at number 3 for that reason. As a horror guy, I watched this movie about a week before it's released, and I left the theater thinking, that was good, that was enjoyable, could have been better. I've seen this before in many other ways, never expecting that a week later, it was going to explode and people were going to respond the way that they have responded. Gen Z, where did you come from all of a sudden into theaters? Because all of you loved this movie and have made this movie explode. Right now, as of today, it is number 7 as the biggest box office movie of the year with $400 million. With a budget of less than $1 million. That is crazy. Again, with a director like Backrooms, Cory Barker, who was a YouTuber, and he was able to break the standard and make a movie, sold it, and out of nowhere, look how it exploded. Now, let's talk about Cory Barker. Talented guy. Clearly, he showed he has a lot of promise. And he showed he has a lot of promise, too, in how to cast a movie. Because Indy Navarrete, she is taking over the world. And she might get a nomination for Best Actress this year. at the Oscars, which would make me so happy if we get another horror nomination. I'm telling you, horror is dominating theaters in Hollywood, and all good things are coming from that genre. And Obsession, again, it is one of those stories that it is so beautiful for me to watch because I'm watching the birth of a possible new franchise, of a possible new director and new actors in Michael Johnson and Indy Navarrete. And that excites me. And what's so interesting about Obsession is not really if the movie is great or bad or the story itself. It's the conversation that it has sparked, especially between men and women. If you talk to men, the message that they left the theater after watching that movie is very different than what women are saying. And that conversation is fascinating to me. And that is what has propelled Obsession to $400 million at the box office. And you can see my excitement. I'm super happy because I get to talk about a horror movie in my top 3 of the year. And I guarantee you, Obsession will still be on my list by the end of the year. I guarantee you. Even more than my first 2 spots that are coming up next. Just watch. Number 2 on my list, another controversial pick because boy, did a lot of people drag this movie through the mud and they wanted to hate it. And the movie only soared and made a ton of money. And that movie is Michael, which right now it is sitting as the highest grossing biopic of all time with like $978 million. It's right there about to make $1 billion. And the movie completely deserves it. And let me tell you why. In my opinion, movies like Michael that feel like an event, that are so larger than life and brought this kind of figure to life with a great performance by Jafar Jackson and recreated all of those magical moments of his career. That is what you want out of a movie in theaters. That experience is what I'm always searching when I go into a film. It was magical. I was smiling from ear to ear the entire time because it was so much fun. All of it. I was singing, I was dancing, I was grooving in my seat. I mean, I was having so much fun. It's one of those experiences that you cannot beat. You cannot deny it. It was a fun movie overall. Now, I do understand that he is a controversial figure, and a lot of people are mad that we are telling his story. In my opinion, this is the importance of movies. We are supposed to tell the stories that are good, that are bad, and that are in between all of it. If we don't, we are not learning and growing as a society. We have to watch these movies so we can understand them and get better and not make the same mistakes. So again, Michael to me was a fun time at the movies. I would love to go watch it again in theaters because boy, was it fun. And that's why it's on my number 2 spot. And now for the number 1 spot. It's a movie that I had no intention in watching this year. Not something at all that I thought last year, I have to watch that in 2026. That's the movie to watch. Never did I expect that Project Hail Mary would be my favorite movie of the year so far. What a movie. All right, let's talk about Project Hail Mary. In my opinion, it's the most beautiful movie of the year. It kind of feels like a live-action Pixar adventure. When you really think about it, that's exactly the best way to describe it. Ryan Gosling is at the top of his game. He is for sure going to get nominated for an Oscar unless, 5 better actors come around in award season. But in my opinion, Ryan Gosling will be nominated for an Oscar this year once again for this movie. Also, let's talk about the message of Project Hail Mary and maybe the reason why I fell in love with it so much. It's a movie about hope. It's a movie about empathy. Again, I've been talking and using this word empathy throughout the entire video, and there's a reason for that. Almost every movie in this list has a sense of how can we be better as people by understanding each other better. And in this one in particular, the message is very clear. Make sure that you are able to get to know those who are different than you. Work together with them. Try to get to know and understand people that come from faraway lands than you do, from very different places like yourself. because that's the way you're going to save the world. It's a beautiful movie. I actually went to watch this one alone, and it was like an early screening. There was nobody in the theater. It was me and maybe one more person. And honestly, the entire time by the end, I was like trying to wipe my tears and not make any sound because I didn't want the other person to see me crying or hear me crying. But I'm sure they were crying as well. It's that type of movie that is very emotional, but emotional because it makes you happy. Emotional because it makes you think of the good things of your life, the people around you that you love. This is the kind of movie that you need to watch with your family. It's perfect for a family night out. And again, I did not expect this to make the list or to even be something that I'd be interested in. And I went in and absolutely fell in love with it. And I kind of want to have that magical theatrical experience once again. I think the movie's already out from theaters, but if it went back into theaters this year, I will definitely go back for a second watch because it was great. In fact, the movie is right now on Prime Video, and I will probably watch it tonight because I'm excited to see it after talking about it. So that concludes my video of my favorite movies of 2026 so far. What a year 2026 has been. It kind of feels like we finally made it back to that pre-pandemic theatrical experience. Going to the movies seems different. It seems better than 2020, 2021, 2022. That whole era was so gross. The theater experience felt different, and it's finally starting to feel magical again. People are going to the movies, enjoying them, and the experience is just wonderful, which for me, I am in heaven. All right, guys, thanks for watching my video. Make sure you drop your favorite movies in the comments below. And as always, let's keep it frank together. Bye-bye.